Welcome to The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray-Grant. Today I'm talking about how to edit other people's writing. I have a question from Frank Light, who's based in Paris, France. Here's what he asked. What is the best way to review material with a writer one-on-one? The last time I sat with an editor was when I worked at a weekly years ago. She had my printed feature draft in hand, with edits in red ink. I'm assuming the tools used today would be MS Word track changes. However, I wanted to understand the mechanics from a professional. Thanks for the question, Frank. I've been an editor for more than 40 years, but I can remember what it was like being edited myself. As a result, I always approached the job with a great deal of care and concern. I don't think many of the key principles have changed much over the last 40 years, except perhaps that the work has become digital. But here's how I approach the task. I don't think it's my job to impose my style on the writer. Instead, I think I have a responsibility to help the writer express their own style in the best possible way. Also, I understand that people learn things more when they fix them themselves. As a result of these two philosophical choices, I try not to dive into stories, even problematic ones, and start rewriting them holus bolus. Instead, I've developed the habit of pointing out problems to the writer and asking them to fix them. If the beginning of an article is too boring, I might suggest, could you start with a story or an anecdote here? Or if the article is lacking transitions, I might suggest one transition and ask the writer to include even more. Below, I give you a link to a blog post I've written on transitions. I take this approach even with grammatical problems. If someone has inflicted an unclear antecedent on the reader, I simply mark it unclear antecedent and I leave it to the writer to fix. If you don't know what an unclear antecedent is, check the link I've provided below. This kind of approach can be more time-consuming, but the benefit is it protects my relationship with the writer. They don't see me as desperate to try and include my voice in their stories. They know I want to help them become better. Most writers would prefer to fix their own problems rather than have someone else sweep in and take charge. To answer your other question, yes. Using track changes in MS Word or Google Docs is the new standard. But here's one other tip to keep in mind. Never use red ink. Many people have been terrorized by high school teachers and have a strong visceral reaction to red. As a result, I always use purple or blue. As an editor, your most important job is to help writers improve over time. This is far more crucial than the excellence of any given story. You want your writers to become more skillful and more confident. You don't achieve this end, of course, by ignoring problems. But if you simply rewrite every story to your own taste, the writer will never learn to improve. Finally, let me wrap up with a quote from English writer H.G. Wells. No passion in the world is equal for the passion to alter someone else's draft. Frank, if you can teach yourself to become a coach and mentor to your writers, you'll be doing them a huge favor and you'll get much better work from them in the end.